Hey guys, welcome to episode 5. So I've gotten a ton of questions about nutrition, but because it's a huge topic, my approach is less going to be cover everything at once and instead have a series of bite-sized topics going into the most important and highest payoff areas for soldiers at the beginning, and then as we go on, getting a little bit more subtle nuance. So the first thing that I want to focus on is winning the morning. One of the most important parts of the day for soldiers is PT, and all too often, if you don't start the day by setting conditions for success, you're going to have a downward slope from then on out. By that I mean, when you wake up after sleeping however long, 6 hours, 8 hours, you're dehydrated and you've got really low blood sugar. You're dehydrated because you've been breathing all night. For anyone that's ever had to cut weight, you understand that you generally lose about a pound or a pound and a half as you sleep. But going into next morning's performance, that means you're significantly dehydrated out the gate. I did some pretty casual polling with people who have been checking out the videos, and on average, 65% of those guys either have nothing before PT or they have coffee. And the danger with that approach is if you have coffee, that caffeine is a diuretic. So if you're already, say, a pound and a half water dehydrated, and then you have a diuretic on top of that, by the time you show up to formation, you are significantly dehydrated, which has massive implications for performance. And then on the blood sugar front, if you haven't had dinner since the night before, that means you're waking up with your blood sugar in a really, really low state. General research seems to indicate that low blood sugar from intermittent fasting, or in this case, just being asleep, decreases your performance by 15%. And so that means for the majority of guys going to formation, they are dehydrated, their blood sugar is low, and then they're expected to perform well. And that's really not realistic or fair. To fix that, I want you to instead consider fueling yourself in 3 different phases. You've got before PT, so rolling out of bed, during PT, if the training session is more than 90 minutes, and immediately after your last set. So a lot of people talk to me and they say that they'd love to eat beforehand, but they don't have enough time. And while I understand that rolling out of bed and making yourself a full breakfast and omelet's probably not plausible, as long as you've got somewhere around 45 minutes, you can eat. And the payoff in that's really big. And so your goal here is to increase hydration and blood sugar, but recognize that there's 2 main groups, and those 2 groups dictate your approach. So group 1 is performance-based. They're lean enough, they don't have to worry about body composition. Their only goal is to perform, and so for them we want to get increase in protein levels and increase in carbohydrates, so that way blood sugar is high enough. We want protein because you haven't had anything since dinner the night before, which means your blood pH is in a catabolic state, which is fancy nerd talk for your blood's acidic and likely to break down muscle. By introducing protein, we can shift that so when you go to hit the gym, your hormonal state is positive and ready to train. So easy, minimal preparation options for that are Greek yogurt. Every morning I roll out of bed and Oikos makes those ready pre-packaged Greek yogurts that gives me, if you use the Zone diet, 2 blocks of carbs, 2 blocks of protein, takes less than 30 seconds to eat, and I'm on my way. Huge shift in performance. For those who want to get a little bit more creative in the kitchen, a simple smoothie is pretty significant. Now the other population is fat loss types, and they may say, hey, it'd be great if I could eat in the morning. I've got some pounds I got to lose. I got a dad bod going on. My goal is to shave some of that off. And the danger of not eating before training is you're going to put yourself in a position where your body feasts on muscle. So as I said, your blood pH is acidic when you wake up, and you're more likely to eat muscle than build it. If you don't have something that shifts that pH and protects your muscle, then as you train, you break down more muscle, which slows down your metabolism and gets you in a really dangerous cycle. So if you don't have any carbs, so that way all of your energy is from fat stores, have branched chain amino acids, and those are pills you can get from GNC or bodybuilder.com, and a water and whey protein shake. You want to prime the system and get enough nutrients in that your body doesn't feast on itself, but still make sure that you're going to use fat stores primarily for energy. So for soldiers, fasted cardio is a fallacy and a bad idea. After you've done this, so you roll up, you got out of bed, you shave, you have your food, you're ready to roll, you hit your commute to work, you don't need to worry generally about eating during PT unless training sessions go over 90 minutes. And rucks are a classic example of this. If you don't eat during a ruck, then your entire hormonal system gets increasingly acidic. You can't recover effectively. And when you need to perform later in the day, you're exhausted and you're depleted. So anything over 90 minutes or any extended training sessions, The easiest option is those gel packs or some of those goo bars. Like there's tons of easy disposable options to have that don't make a mess as you go. And those are pretty essential if you're going to be training long term. And the last thing that I think gets missed frequently is immediately after the last set. So for most guys, you finish PT at 8, you stretch it out, you go, you hit the showers, you change, you meander over the defect. By the time you're sitting down at the table, starting to eat, it's closer to 9 than not. And the problem there is you've essentially gone an hour without food, and you make your money in that 30-minute window after PT. And so an easy way to make sure you're getting nutrients fast are pre-packaged options. So for that after PT window, 2 easy ways to do it. 1, for minimal effort, is just buy packaged chocolate milk. It's done, it's ready made, you just hit it and forget it and you're on your way. Option 2, something I do, is I'll keep at work Gatorade powder and I'll keep protein powder. So I finish my last set, I walk back to my office. Before I hit the showers, I've already had my carbohydrate source, my electrolyte source, my proteins, and I'll throw a little bit of creatine in there just to accelerate recovery. And all of that has happened within like 10 minutes of finishing my last set, which means as I'm showering, before I even get changed, my entire system is recovering and preparing for the rest of the day. And so while there's a lot of ways to attack it, I find waking up, Greek yogurt, about 20 ounces of water, starts my day off right. I crush it at PT, and then immediately thereafter refuel and I'm ready to go. Hope that helps.